Skadoosh. Kung Fu Panda 3, the third and presumably final film in the Kung Fu Panda trilogy, unless of course they make a Kung Fu Panda 4, because Jeffrey Katzenberg said they planned 6 Kung Fu Panda, but anyway, only time will tell. Now, Kung Fu Panda 3, guys, was by far my most anticipated film of 2016. I know a lot of you are shocked by that, because you're like, Harry, why are you anticipating this film so much? Isn't it gonna suck considering it's coming out in January and it's the third installment of an animated franchise? Are you crazy? Why aren't you anticipating Captain America Civil War, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad more? Why this? Well, because, guys, I love the Kung Fu Panda films. I'd say Kung Fu Panda is a movie series that's infinitely better, admittedly, than we all thought it was going to be. If anything, I call it DreamWorks' second best franchise, second only, of course, to How to Train Your Dragon. And when the first Kung Fu Panda came out in 2008, 8 years ago, people were expecting to hate it. Everyone had zero expectations for it, because the trailers looked meh. It was going to be Jack Black voicing a panda who does goofy kung fu, and DreamWorks hadn't made a great movie since Shrek, so yeah. But I was one of the few who was actually excited for it, who actually had hoped it would be good, and guys, I was absolutely right, because the movie completely surpassed everyone's expectations. It was surprisingly, legitimately awesome, and has become to this date one of the most beloved films from DreamWorks. And its sequel, 2011's Kung Fu Panda 2, was one of the best animated sequels and sequels in general I have ever seen. It was even better, and after that amazing cliffhanger from the second film where we see Poe's father go, "My son is alive," I was like, holy crap, there's gonna be a Kung Fu Panda 3 where he meets his dad and finds that the pandas who survived Lord Shen's attack are still alive. Holy shit, I cannot wait. And although the marketing for this film is very hit and miss, the US teaser trailer was okay, but the Chinese teaser trailer was just epic, was just freaking spectacular. Boy, did it get me hyped, and I'm hoping the movie will be more like the Chinese trailer than the US trailer. And of course, this is the first DreamWorks movie to be made with their company in China, Oriental DreamWorks, which really is a great idea, since Kung Fu Panda is set in China. It's only fair the Chinese company helps DreamWorks make it. And what gave me a bit of hope for this film as well is that Jennifer Nelson, of course, who flawlessly directed Kung Fu Panda 2, would be returning in the director's chair, which was a bonus. And while we had to wait longer than we all thought, here we are 5 years later with the third film in this presumed trilogy. Now, with that being said, now that I've seen Kung Fu Panda 3 literally loads of times, what did I think of it? Well, I can gladly say, guys, it was well worth the wait, the hype, and the anticipation, because Kung Fu Panda 3 is my favourite Kung Fu Panda film. I loved it. Right from the start, sir, you know this film was going to be a masterpiece. It completely enthralls you in with a spectacular opening battle between Oogway and Kai in the spirit realm. Now, this opening, it immediately sets up the stakes. Now, Master Oogway is my personal favourite Kung Fu Panda character, so to have him be literally the first character we see in the movie was like Christmas to me. It was a miracle to see Randall Duke Kim reprise his role as Oogway, because he is outstanding in voice acting the character. Now, Poe in this film goes for a very interesting and brilliant character arc, as he usually does. Of course, for Kung Fu Panda 2, they frankly didn't just make him an idiot all over again, they made him a complete badass, which worked perfectly. And in this film, they were like, what can we do with Poe that we haven't already done before? Help him discover who he is, his true identity, and make him replace Shifu as the teacher of the Jade Palace, which was an ingenious idea. And of course, Poe sucks at teaching because he tries to do it like Shifu, and of course Shifu explains to him, Poe has to turn the five into them. That's a great message from this film, that don't try to be something you're not, just be you. And the best new character in this film is Li Shan, Poe's biological panda father, voiced by Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston, he was great. He really surprised me. He was not just, oh, I don't care because I'm voicing a character in an animated film. He really got invested in this character. He clearly loved being in this film. In fact, I gotta give kudos to all of the voice actors. They all did a top-notch job. Jack Black, Dustin Hoffman, Bryan Cranston, Kate Hudson, J.K. Simmons, James Hong, and Randall Duke Kim, all wonderful. And Poe has a great relationship with his biological father. Of course, it gets in the way in the relationship with his adoptive father, Mr. Ping, who is at first really jealous and of Poe meeting up with his real dad, understandably, because Mr. Ping has raised Poe his entire life, and Poe is all of a sudden just ignoring him and spending all the time in the world with his new dad. And eventually, however, Mr. Ping really grows up and realizes that having Lee in Poe's life won't mean less for him, it will mean more for Poe, and they learn to work together and how to both be there for him. Props to you, DreamWorks. You actually touched on a subject that's never been told in a family film before, how same-sex parenting can work. But Lee is not just there to be Poe's second father. He's a completely complex, three-dimensional character as well. I mean, Poe and him, they have fun. They they have a laugh. Lee helps Poe when he takes him back to the Panda village to seemingly help Poe master Chi to beat Kai. He teaches Poe how to be a panda, the life that Poe was supposed to have, and him and Poe share some great drama and emotional moments too, like when Lee shows Poe the picture of his mother, and that was an outstanding scene. That was one of the best scenes in the movie, period. It really made me cry how Lee remembered the day he lost both his wife and his son, and now he's got Poe back. He will do everything he can to hold on to Poe. That really reminds you how good Kung Fu Panda 2 was. And the pandas in the Panda Village, they were good characters too. They were great fun. Like the baby panda that loves Poe's action figure, she calls it Stripey Baby. And yeah, we have Grandma Panda, the hugging panda, Poe's cousins, and of course Kate Hudson's Mei Mei. Although Mei Mei was she's a little wasted in this film. I mean, she's not a bad character, far from it. She's just really underused. She gets little to nothing to do. She's only in the film for like 5 to 10 minutes, if that, and has little impact on the overall story. It's great. Where this film differs from the previous two is that the other members of the Furious Five, besides Tigress, actually have something to do. When Crane and Mantis are sent by Shifu to find Kai and track down the Jade creatures with new Kung Fu Masters, Master Bear, Master Croc, and Master Chicken. That was great. I'm glad the other members of the Five finally got development, because they were so pushed to the side in the previous two. Yeah, Tigress in the previous two is the only one that actually got development and was actually interesting. Now let's talk about the villain, Kai. Man, Kai is an awesome villain. I mean, I wouldn't mess with this guy. He has green eyes, he has jade swords, he was of course the former friend of Oogway, which was great. Finally a villain that has a connection with Oogway, and a villain that's actually equal to Oogway in skill. We've not seen that before. With the previous two villains, Tai Lung and Lord Shen, Tai Lung was a brawl villain, and Lord Shen was a smart villain, and Kai is now a supernatural villain, as Jennifer Yu Olsen said, bigger and more intimidating. And I think Kai is the best villain of the three Kung Fu Panda villains. Granted, Lord Shen was a very hard act to follow. He was such a great villain. I didn't think, I wasn't sure whether they'd be able to pull it off, but boy, they passed with flying colours. Kai has a great backstory where he was the brother of in arms of Oogway, who took Oogway to the Panda village after Oogway was injured in a battle, and Pandas taught Oogway how to give chi, but Kai became obsessed with chi and wanted to use it to grow his own power, resulting him and Oogway falling out, and Kai is angry, believing Oogway betrayed him, and now he's made it his life goal to destroy everything Oogway owned, and destroy Oogway's students, and destroy the one who Oogway chose to stop him, the Dragon Warrior. And there's great build up to the final confrontation between Poe and Kai. People criticise Kai for having a weak motivation, but I completely disagree. I think Kai has a completely relatable motivation. He felt betrayed by Oogway, considering maybe Oogway forgot to thank Kai for taking him to the Panda Village and saving his life. And people generally criticise Kung Fu Panda 3 for having too much comedy and not enough drama, whereas the previous films are perfectly balanced comedy and drama. But I disagree again. I don't know what you're talking about. The this this the comedy in this film is brilliant. I was laughing literally every 5 seconds. Practically every joke worked flawlessly, and if anything, I think this is both the funniest and darkest in the trilogy. It did have some dramatic moments and as well as funny moments, like Kai destroying the Jade Palace by hurting the statue of Wu Wei. That scene made my jaw drop in awe. I didn't see any comedy in that. So when Poe remembers his mother, didn't see any comedy in that. When Lee confesses to Poe that he doesn't know Chi, and no comedy in that. Yeah, in fact, the third act of this film is the most serious part. And the animation in this film is beautiful. This is certainly the best looking of the three films. I mean, there are many Chinese cultural references. You feel like you're in ancient China every corner. It's the In fact, we get some great new locations with the animation too. The Panda village is so lovely and cozy and beautiful and looks like an ancient Chinese village. The spirit realm is breathtakingly beautiful. The animation in that is just out of this world stunning. And it's so clever how they told Oogway and Kai's backstory through Chinese scrolls. Just like the previous two films use traditional animation to tell certain backstories. Just like the previous two, the action scenes in this film are amazing. The opening battle between Oogway and Kai, the battle in the wrecked boat between Crane and Mantis, the Masters and Kai, the Kai versus Shifu and the Five at the Jade Palace, the final battle between Poe and Kai in both the mortal realm and the spirit realm, all phenomenal action, and there's actual plenty of substance to the action as well. Thankfully, the action is more story based and more about what's happening to the characters and less about the actual action taking place, which really impressed me. And I felt like there was so much at stake with the action as well. I mean, Kai truly felt like an truly unstoppable force. He didn't really get his comeuppance or shows any signs of weakness until his final battle with Poe, when Poe finally does become the Master of Chi with the help of his allies. The stakes have never been higher, and you really felt that in this movie. The soundtrack by Hans Zimmer, brilliant as usual. This has the best soundtrack of the three, I am not kidding. While the first two had amazing soundtracks as well, but this soundtrack just takes it to a whole new level. I love hearing Oogway's theme again, and of course Kai's villain theme, dun 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 dun, dun the and the Everybody Loves Kung Fu Fighting theme at the end. The both the English and Chinese version, and especially love the end credits song Try. Oh. So in the end, guys, Kung Fu Panda 3 is definitely my favourite of the three films. It is officially the second animated trilogy where all three were good after Toy Story. I give Kung Fu Panda 3 5 stars out of 5. So what did you think of Kung Fu Panda 3? Whatever you thought, please comment below, let me know. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on Twitter and on my Google+, and I'll see you next time.